What's up, guys? We've done some housekeeping. We've done some talking about Ray's mini corn dogs and her job feeding old people mini corn dogs, Charlie's dog, and a few other serious matters. And yeah, now I think we're actually ready to play some adventures in Middle Earth. So I'm, without further ado, going to turn it over to Kevin since we're much later than usual at this point.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. Um, Plenty of things to discuss going into the game, but we're back for session. Did you say that it was session three, Nathan? Um,
Well, Ray said it, and I don't question Ray anymore because she'll just tell me I'm wrong anyways. So I'm going with
Yeah, you're
that.
probably wrong to think that, actually.
yeah, indeed.
I don't always say that.
Yeah, so let's get going. The journey goes on and on. We're going to start off with a recap from our four players. Um, and I don't think we have done a real introduction to the players as well. And we are session three as well, so we might as well get into it. So I'm going to ask Ray if you can start us off with a sort of story recap as well as an introduction to Aurelian, and we will go from there.
Sure. So after our prologue, that was three parts, um, Aurelian has spent the past 60 years, I believe, in Rivendell, studying several different topics, trying to see what he can learn about this ring that his father had made. And after a significant amount of research, he finally received word from his quote unquote friend, Halvarad, who says that he knows someone who might actually know the dwarf that was involved in potentially taking the ring and who was his escort or who he was escorting. And so, with that information, Aurelian has decided to go out into Middle Earth again to try to see what he can learn about this person. And he doesn't feel comfortable going at it alone, so he stopped his cousin Rook. And I will pass it on to you, Charlie.
Um, do you want to just describe and tell us a little bit about Aurelian in regard to race, class?
Of course. He is a high elf scholar, and he is typically he used to be a very outgoing, mischievous high elf, but after the events of the prologue, he's become a little bit more withdrawn, a little bit more secretive. Still the same amount of rudeness and cattiness that he had before, but his trust towards others doesn't extend far beyond his immediate family, like Rook here.
Okay. Charlie, yep.
Well, Rook is a elf treasure hunter as it's listed, but he does many other things than that. He hasn't really set too much. He's never really been on an adventure before the one we are currently on. He's mainly stuck to like Rivendell and like he trained under like the people from Branduil and Legolas and they're the whole horde. And then he meets up with Aurelion, and he's always jury, so he has made it his personal mission to, in some way, bring happiness back to Aurelion's life. And if that means a smile here or there, that's what he's going to do. Um, it's kind of mischievous, but he really is just happy to be away from a whole horde of people and escorting Aurelion where we're going.
Yeah, do you want to talk to us about the journey that you and Aurelion have been on since leaving Rivendell?
Um,
Just as a recap up to this point. So, yeah, just the journey.
we ran into a troll. It seemed right out of the gate. He took off, and I don't think we got him. Ran into a really big problem with archers and some shaman that, in one way or the other, really blew his head up. He was gone, and that made him just that much more scared of Aurelion at that point. And now we are on our way to Bree.
Yeah. Nate, do you want to tell us about Maracar and sort of your Maracar's recap of the fight that was had, um, and the aftermath of it?
Yes. Hi, I'm Nate. I play Maracar, the Quiet. Um, well, as Maracar, the journey was pretty quiet for the most part. We met up with a ranger, I believe he was called. Nice guy. He's a good fellow. Um, we were ambushed by what I now know is hill people. Um, they didn't seem like much of a people to me, but they ambushed us, and unfortunately, most of them died. Me and from what I'm told, a couple other in our group have made their first, I guess, murders on the road, uh, which I'm having difficulty dealing with. I've never taken a life. I've hunted before, but this was different. Um, but we after meeting up with each other after the fight, luckily the two elves showed up. We kind of got to know each other. We're heading the same way, more or less. And there's something, I don't know, some weird long lost connection between the ranger and this new elf that joined our group. Um, I guess we'll see where this all leads, but I know we're on the same path for now. Uh, Debris it is.
Um, yeah. And finally, our host, Nathan. Would you like to tell us about your character and what happened once you left the combat scene and the direct aftermath of the fight?
Yeah, Damrod is a ranger. His goal is to restore his his heritage or his history, the history of his people. Uh, Trying to raise some of that history up from the dirt and discover some of that history that's been lost over the many centuries. Um, he holds Aragorn in very high regard, and very high standards. Um, Growing up hearing tales of how his father helped Aragorn and helped train Aragorn and things like that, help protect. That's where he knows of Aurelion from. It's the stories of his father, as they had a connection in our prologue. Um, Last session we ended with the aftermath of the battle. We pressed our party very hard and pressed the caravanneers that were left very hard to make it to the base of Weathertop, and kind of mended to some of our wounds, kept us kept us from bleeding out, and Damrod went and searched for some of the other rangers in the area. Getting lost, had swords and bows pulled on him, but we did end up finding said rangers and turning in the one the one raider that Maracar did not just completely wreck, for questioning to find out why this group attacked us on this road, um, and lied to Aurelion, told Aurelion that his father was that Damrod's father was dead, and
For no
Aurelion
reason.
did not care at all, one bit, even though he said he was friends with Damrod's father.
No, quote unquote friends.
Yeah, and now I believe we're preparing to press forward to Bree.
Um, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. Um, the the fellowship is together, maybe still somewhat disjointed. A little bit of friction here and there is sensed. Um, but the Caravanseers as well as our 4 companions here, set off from Weathertop the next morning after a longish rest, patching up wounds, recovering somewhat. The group travels the many leagues between Weathertop, and they are heading west towards the settlements of Bree. Damrod knows better than most, as he has been to Bree once or twice, maybe, that Bree is not just one settlement, it is effectively 4 settlements, all clumped around a hill at the crossroads of the north south road and the east west road. There's always been an inn at this crossroad, a very famous inn, and around it was built the town of Bree, and that is where the Caravaneers are heading to, and it is also where Aurelian is heading to in search for someone called Timaeus.
Oh, is that how it's pronounced?
I'm going with Timaeus. Well, how was you going to go with it?
I said Timaeus, but I'll say Timaeus.
Maybe the elves would say Timaeus,
Fair enough.
but the more common speaking would be Timaeus. So either or. Potato, potato.
Potato
we
corn
call-
dog.
Can we call him Tiny Tim?
Is he a
Tiny
halfling?
Timaeus.
The caravan is weary. It's been a long, long road. The caravan is also on much higher alert, although Damrod would probably assure them that past the weather hills there should be fewer risks, as it's not as wild. Perhaps maybe to the south, but to the north, his people watch and are forever watchful. So, how about Damrod? Give me a survival roll, as I would say that you're probably best suited to be a guide for this caravan, for the Caravaneers and the group on a whole. Rook, give me a stealth check, as again you're probably best suited to be the scout for the group, perhaps riding off, checking the path, checking the road. Out of Aurelion and Maracar, who would be better suited to be, one, a lookout, someone who's looking out for danger, and 2 would be a hunter gatherer of different things, not just food, but resources.
If that's in nature, then I'm pretty good at nature, but less good at perception.
Huh?
I know you were literally a
Um,
hunter, but maybe I'm a better gatherer.
So, I mean, I'm okay at perception. I don't know shit about nature. I know farm. I don't know nature.
What about survival?
Oh yeah. No, I'm about as survival as I am perception.
Okay, can I? Would that take nature or survival?
It would be survival, probably for the hunter as much as anything else.
Okay, so I'm about as survival as I am perceptive, also.
Okay.
Nice.
So wait,
I don't have a ranged weapon, so hunting probably isn't my deal.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take care of
I mean, that
um,
axe is ranged if you try hard enough.
that. It's ranged once.
yeah. So rather than
Anything's a ranged weapon if you try hard enough.
so rather than sort of maybe mechanically, would Maracar want to go out hunting and gathering, or is he someone that's just the silent watcher? Um, and the same
Yeah,
with
he's definitely more of a watcher.
yeah,
He'll keep an eye out for things, but he probably wouldn't jump at the idea of going hunting. He never really liked it. He's a I'm a pick up this hay bale and I'm gonna put it over there kind of guy.
yeah, that farm strength as we've discussed.
Yeah, Aurelian's not much of a
He
hunter
comes from hardy
himself.
stock.
He's not much of a hunter himself either, but maybe at this point he's getting a little tired of being around people and he wants to go off on his own and look
Yeah,
around a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
really, just getting overwhelmed.
And
For real.
again, you you will need um, sort of reagents and stuff for healing, and like your healing hand, your hands of the healer ability. Um, it isn't so much a magical effect; it's
Hmm.
more so a poultice, a bandage, a balm of some sort. And you do have to collect resources for those. You you get the ability anyway, but that could be your thing that you just need to get away, and you need to go and find some resources for whatever.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that tracks absolutely.
yeah. Okay. Um, okay. So, Maracar, give me a perception check then,
Yes,
and
sir.
Aurelian, give me a
Ooh,
survival or investigation as such, if that's going to help a little bit more.
It's about the same. Now, dude, we did get inspiration.
nah.
Um,
Yeah, so Maracar, like, so we're just this is like as we're traveling to
yeah,
Bree.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, as he's going about, he tries really hard to keep lookout and kind of pay attention for landmarks and things, but he's just still kind of running that battle in his head over and over and over again, just to kind of think of how could he have gone through that situation without having to kill someone.
yeah,
His mind's overtaken by that.
yeah. Um, Damrod, did you roll me survival as well?
I was gonna ask if I could roll athletics since I'm gonna have to carry these fools.
Ooh, did your back hurt yet?
Oh wait, that's the wrong character, so I'm gonna re-roll that.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
Just
rolled.
how
kidding. I got an
convenient.
8 on survival.
Okay.
We had the same problem the other night.
Yeah, you can
You
literally
haven't played with me yet, Charlie, so you just might as well get used to it.
in the drop down box, you can select your character. If you look through the list, go further down, you'll see your character, select it, and the right token will come up.
Yeah, I got it
Um,
fixed. I always forget to do that before I roll something.
yeah, I tend to as well. Um, okay, so okay, Nathan, not Nathan, Damrod. I need you to give me a D12.
I can roll
Six.
good on that.
Yeah. So through the long leagues, you are leading on the group. The road, you're not going to get lost off the road, but it's just more about when to take your breaks and how long to take the breaks for. And so it's about what time you're going to be getting to Bree effectively. Are you going to time it to get there at the right time? Um, Maracar, as you said, very distracted. Um, Aurelion, you spend some time just disappearing off the track somewhat, trying to find aphalas or other herbs of healing that you can use, maybe some nettles, that they can also help in being an antiseptic sort of thing. but you're unable to find much.
Hmm.
Rook, how you go off on your horse, and you, because of the speed that the group is traveling in, you actually have quite a bit of time to go and explore. Um, why don't you tell me something that Rook has found and discovered while out scouting ahead? Just spending a bit of time on his own, seeing the world, having his own little adventure, sort of thing. Almost a little bit carefree.
Um, he'd go ahead of the group just a little bit, staying as hidden as he could. He'd look for tracks, maybe for maybe traps in the area, um, and a general path that we need to take. And if there's anything up ahead that he needs to take care of before the main group gets there, he feels pretty confident that he could do that in that time frame.
Yeah. Um, again, for you, you've got your horse. You can obviously dismount and go off on foot if you wish, but you have a lot of time for yourself. Um, and you see what looks like a side track, because this is a main road. This is a road that even now you'll still see um, evidence that this was a created, made road. It's not just a dirt trail. There's evidence that a long lost civilization that you probably know about to a certain degree has created, and there's still plenty of evidence of it. And you jump off your horse as you see a statue of a a man holding a sword, two hands, um, a crown on his head, a no what the stature of the statue itself looks like it's quite a noble bearing. However, the head has been the statue itself has been knocked over and the head has come off and rolled away. And you go and sort of dig through the undergrowth, pulling up the like turf to find it, and you find its crown. And again, its features are weather worn, but of a very noble bearing. Um, you can give me a history check. You probably think that this might have been one of the kings of Arnor long ago. Uh, which one? You don't know enough about the human history, even that of the Dunedain. Um, but you also feel that you also find that there may be evidence of a path that leads off towards the south. Again, not as well created as the road that you're traveling on, but certainly something that was once man-made. You feel, um, but again, it's pretty much lost almost to time. But you've found this little side path leading off to the south.
Um, yeah. Being who he is, he would go off and explore that path to a degree, but he wouldn't get so far away that he's getting off too far away from the main road. But he'd go down that and kind of see if there's anything down there he hasn't seen before because he's looking at everything.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a give me a survival check as you try and follow the path. Um, you you find a stone not too far, and on the stone is some carvings, some writing chiseled into it. Again, very weather worn, weather beaten, and you see that it says um, the land of the princes of Cardalan. Um, and you move on a little bit further, but you lose track of the the path that you're trying to follow. Just too much grass. So you'll turn around and you'll head back to the road and wait for your group to catch up.
Yeah, I'd stay hidden the entire time as best I
Yeah,
could, waiting for them to get there.
yeah. Um, and you probably find quite a few. You probably have quite a few adventures like this on your days of travel as you make your way across these lone, empty lands. Um, the group moving slowly, cautiously, but you're able to ride on ahead and get the wind in your hair. See these lands that are very lonely and empty, but compared to the woodland realm in Mirkwood, where it's oppressive, claustrophobic. There's trees everywhere that you see. Here, it's just open space and fresh air, and the change of scenery could be quite nice for you. Um, the days roll by, and it is around midday, around 1 o'clock ish. The sun finally breaks through the clouds as you are traveling. There's been a fog, a mist that lay across the land the last 2 days, but the sun breaks through the clouds and begins to burn up this low fog and mist around you. And in sight, you see a hill, not a tall hill, a low hill just in front of you, not far now. Damrod, you will know that this is the Hill of Bree and what the people call Breeland. Is there anything that you would say to the group, or anything you would have the group would have spoke about on their journeys while traveling over these last couple of days?
I imagine Damrod has probably told Maracar more about some of his history. I can't speak for Maracar, but I just imagine he's probably asked more as some of this stuff has happened and these other conversations have happened. Because I know at one point we were having a discussion as to why the why we were attacked and why they hate my people, basically.
Um, whenever Rook
Um,
goes off, I would like to find a moment to speak with Damrod, but that can come a little bit later if someone else needs to do something.
yeah, I was just gonna go off of Damrod there. Maracar would be noticeably more quiet. Um, like he would politely listen when you speak to him if you like point something interesting out. Um, and eventually he would just kind of look at you and say, um, you you killed those men very easy. Do you do this often? Have you killed before? You seem like you have.
Sometimes it is a necessity. I would not use easy to describe it.
And shakes his head and he looks at you, and I mean he's kind of over the panicked, frantic kind of stage, and he's just kind of like dwelling in his own, mind, beating him up over and over again, kind of convincing him that he's some type of murderer. And he'd ask you, uh, so now that we've all killed in this group, are we like we're not are we criminals in this land? Like I don't understand how any of this works.
Maracar, let me be clear with you. We did not simply happen upon these people and kill them. We did not choose, in fact, to kill them. We were forced to. Would you have stood there and watched as they slaughtered the caravanners? And he kind of like motions around to the people around us. Would you prefer to have watched them die, watch me die, and then be killed yourself? Or for no reason other than that you traveled next to me?
And Maracar, he sees he's starting to kind of like he's holding back some tears, and he looks back at the Caravaners and he looks back at you and he says, if I would have acted sooner, some of them would have been alive now, walking with us.
Emerald
And
stops
I
and like puts a hand on your shoulder, and whatever people are walking around and traveling around, he stops and puts a hand on your shoulder. You you cannot think that way. That way will drag you down. It will kill you mentally. It will kill your spirit. All you can do is learn from it. You can be better next time. But you can't live there. You can't ask, what if? You must strive to be more, to be better, and to hesitate to take a life is not in the wrong. You're not wrong for that, Maracar. In fact, it's a good thing.
and he looks at your hand and he places his hand on yours and slowly takes it off, and he just keeps on walking, kind of just thinking about it, but maybe like convincing himself that you know he's got to be wrong in some way. um but he's definitely thinking about what you said.
Damrod and Maracar, give me an insight check as well.
I don't see shit.
Yeah, you are oblivious to everything at the moment.
I see about twice as much as you.
Yeah,
I'm two in my feels.
yeah. Damrod, you've certainly had much more interactions with elves than Maracar would have. But even then, it would probably be limited. Perhaps only seeing riders of the elven folk riding across the plains, hunting beasts and evil things alike. Um, but you've spent enough time with your two elven companions now. You certainly get the feeling that one of them, Rook, is that they're very different. Yes, they're both elves, and you can kind of tell that one is maybe of the Noldor, a high elf, but then and the other one is perhaps a Sindar or a Sylvan elf. But even then, the the mentality and the sort of maturity almost of the two of them is vastly different. That Rook is seems much younger, certainly in spirit, to what Aurelion is. Is there anything that Rook and Aurelion would have spoke about and discussed on the travels? Anything with your two human companions?
Well, I had a thing for um, Damrod.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything, Charlie?
Not, no, not really.
Um, then, if it pleases the court, at some point when Aurelian probably noticed as Rook starts to run off, like he he just notices the way he gets a little skittish before he runs off, and noticing he does, and knowing he has a little bit of time, he will go up to Damrod and put a hand on his shoulder. Might I speak with you in private, son of Halvarod?
I'm not sure how private we should get. We need to make sure these people are safe. You want to do this as we travel?
Oh, shoot.
Well, of course,
Or
but maybe away from prying ears, prying eyes. And he kind of just like motions towards the tree line if you happen to be passing by one.
yes, that is agreeable.
Um, and once we get a little bit of distance from everyone, Aurelian kind of just looks at them and says, "Did your father happen to mention details of what happened when we were in the Region?"
Kevin, do you wanna tell me if I was told details or just like the general story or?
Um, there was. Would Aurelian have told Halbarad and Aragorn not to tell anyone, or
Um,
what? It's not like the Rangers are going to be telling everyone secret details of everything, but
the
yeah, I'm happy, Nathan, for you and Ray to decide how much information may have been given.
um,
Um,
my thoughts are maybe Halbarad would have told his son. Like, it is kind of like an epic tale, and I don't know. That just sounds like a thing maybe Halbarad would do.
yeah.
What do you think, Nathan?
I mean, I feel like that. I don't. I guess I don't particularly know exactly how long it's been. But I feel
Probably around
like
60 years.
do what?
Like 60 years.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure he's probably heard the story many a time. Then, he's probably asked several times to for his father to tell him that story, or for maybe his mother to recite the story when his father was gone, or something like that. So he's probably heard a lot. May recall details possibly different than what actually happened. If it's been that long, I don't know. Just depends on how excited he was when he heard the tale. But yeah, he'll kind of recount to you a little bit of what he knew, just enough to show you that he has heard the story in some depth.
Well, your father tells it in quite a glamorized fashion, but I do have a request. And despite the fact that you guys are away from everything, he kind of drops his voice. What happened with the ring is, of course, secret. You know this. But I'd also ask that you keep my uncle, my uncle's involvement in the destruction of Eregion to yourself. And he kind of just looks around a little bit to just make sure that they are alone. My my companion Rook, he is the grandson of Nothadir, and I do not trust him to handle that news particularly well.
Do you trust him?
In general, yes, but I don't think that news that his that his grandfather was the one who killed our people is exactly something that would be easy to take in.
Uh, Damrod pulls his signature move and places a hand on your shoulder and says, "You should have more faith in your companions. I will keep your secret. Know this: most secrets don't stay secret for long. And if it does come out, make sure that it doesn't come out that you've hidden it from him." And he kind of like pats you a couple of times and gives you a smile.
Maybe the secrets you've dealt with are so trivial that it would require you to speak up. But when it comes to the slaughter of a people, I don't think that knowing this information at this moment would do him any good.
If I'm not mistaken, my father's companion revealed a great secret to you as well. Fighting the wargs. I wouldn't say
Well,
that secret was trivial, but
hardly,
it was needed.
perhaps. But knowing that secret at that moment did not put my mental health in jeopardy, and I fear that this might. It's different manner of secrets, you could say.
I don't fault you for keeping the secret or possibly waiting for the right time. I merely warn you of the detriment of not trusting your companions or hiding things of this magnitude for too long. As I said,
Well,
your secret is safe with me. Just don't let this be a secret that does more harm than good.
I'll see to it that it doesn't. And when our quest is done, he will have eradicated the stain that was on his family's name, or so I hope. And he will walk off.
Sting. Seems like the name of a sword I've heard before. That's a Lord of the Rings reference for you guys that don't know. Just cueing you in on that one, Nate. Just letting you
I
know.
didn't get that one, and even I know Lord of the Rings. That
He's
was
seen the, he's seen the
That
Hobbit
flew
as
right
well.
over my head.
see to us who haven't seen The Hobbit.
um, anything else for anyone else that you would have discussed or spoke about, mentioned on your journey?
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the mist, the fog, gets burnt up by the high noon sun. It's another hour, hour and a bit, I guess. When you arrive at Bree, again you see the hill marching up on your right hand side. On its southern slope, you see buildings. Um, they're on the lower slopes of the hill itself, reaching down towards the road. Across the road in front of you, you see a deep dike, and on the far side of the dike is a hedge and a fence that circles out from the hill towards the south, around, enclosing the road, and it leads back towards the hill in a half circle. where the road comes to the dike itself, there is a causeway leading to a gate, and your caravan approaches the gate. Is anyone doing anything at this time?
Um, I'm probably motioning to Rook. I imagine we both have our hoods up, but
Yeah.
if he doesn't, then I will motion to do that, and then I will mount to him low profile.
Why would you tell me that? I'm always low profile.
I just cross my arms and like just give him that look.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, the in the woodland realm, far, far, far to the east, across the mountains, beyond the river, the other side of the Great Wood, where the woodland realm is, you actually have some open dealings with the men of the lake. Um, you yourself might have even went to Lake Town once or twice. You might have even gone to Dale on some business, Rook. Um, and so you are probably quite used to potentially walking openly amongst humans over there. Um, Perhaps Aurelian would have mentioned that it's not quite the same this side the mountains. Um, the low men, or the Breelanders as such, are quite very isolationists and distant from everybody else. Um, and that they probably don't see elves very often. You approach the gate, and as you do, um, you are challenged. Oh, who goes there? Does anyone from the group speak up, or are you going to let the Caravanseers speak for yourselves?
Just some travelers.
Oh, and you can see that he's peering over the gate. It's like he's on some small steps. Oh, travelers, are you coming out of the east? I see long miles with nothing in between. Out there, well, and one of the Caravanseers will step forward. Oh, oh, Tom, stop it! Let us in. We've been gone for long enough. Oh, is that you? Ah, very well. Come on, come on. And he disappears down from whatever he was standing on. He twists the wooden bar and pulls open the gate. In you come, in you come. Welcome, welcome. Um, he, the first group of Caravanseers come through. Um, whereabouts would Damrod and Maracar be? I'm going to assume the two elves are maybe towards the back.
I imagine Damrod was
I
in the front when we approached, but he would definitely step aside and let the Caravanseers go in first because I imagine they're like some of them got pretty gravely injured, uh, and at least one of us is kind of used to some battle, so I'm probably feeling a bit better than they are, maybe, hopefully.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can see Maracar also being up front, probably like carrying someone like kind of on his back, like piggyback style or something like that, who maybe like hurt a leg or just got exhausted from the travel. He'd be carrying that person over.
yeah.
Um, and maybe even asking like the other carabineers, is there a place to take this person? Lisa, do you know where I can take Lisa to get some healing?
well, the gateman Tom. Oh well, oh, what happened there then? You're a mighty big one, ain't you?
We were attacked on the road. Hill dwellers attacked us.
Oh,
They were
not heard
also
of.
crows or jackdaws or ravens or robins, right? And he kind of looks around for confirmation.
What? Bah, nonsense. Just just some thugs, I guess, on the road. Well, perhaps you should take her up to the school, maybe.
Well, I don't see how an education would help this woman. She
Well,
she
that's
had
where all the
she is
that's
injured.
that's where all the smart ones go. You see, perhaps if
Oh,
And
anyone
that's a good idea,
knows,
Mr. Tom. That's a really good idea, Mr. Tom.
in the
And he'd
back,
look around and see if like there's another person that is having trouble walking, and he'd probably like scoop them up too. Um, it didn't not
Scoop
really
ski
asking, just like
potatoes.
scoop, like yeah. um,
no,
and he'd start walking, and then like he'd get maybe 10 yards out, and then turn around and say, "Mr. Tom, where's the schoolhouse?"
you're not from around these parts, are you? You're somewhat different, I guess.
No,
Up
sir.
that way to the right. Keep walking. You'll see it.
Oh, fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Tom. And he'd start walking off, and then he'd yell back. He'd stop again, and he'd yell back and walk like halfway back to the caravan while you guys are walking in, and he'd yell, um, "Mr. Danrod, um, I'll I'll catch up with you all later in the day. I'm gonna bring these folks into the schoolhouse. Maybe the children can help them." And then he's gonna walk off.
Maybe I put a bit too much trust in him.
I'll lean into Rook and just say maybe they could teach him something while he's there. Simpleton as he
Maybe.
is.
Let's hope so.
He's just happy to be back in somewhat civilization.
I don't think he likes being on the road.
No, people die on the road.
Um, you see Damrod and Aurelian and Rook just paying a little bit of attention. You're maybe trying to blend in a little bit more, but you see you see that you see that Tom eyes Damrod. He's like looking at him with a frown as Damrod sort of walks in with the rest of them. Eyeing Damrod suspiciously. Doesn't say anything to him. He's just eyeing him suspiciously.
I try to pull my hood a little further down. Just keep going.
Yeah, and as I'm walking by, I'm just gonna like turn as if I'm trying to tend to my horse, so that I don't have to catch his eyes.
Yeah, how about giving me stealth or deception checks? Roll 20 is hating everyone.
Your horse is not even there.
You know what? I will use inspiration. I will use the inspiration I got at the beginning. Cool. Glad I did that.
That's even better.
He would. He would. He's eyeing Damrod suspiciously, and just out the corner of your eye, he just sees the two of you sort of. Oh, and where seem like you're fine horses. You've got fine elven horses. Oh, they're they're mighty nice horses. Won't pull a plough, they won't. But where are you two from then?
Our business is our own.
Uh,
Yes.
we're just from Mirkwood.
From where?
A little
But
further.
Mirkwood.
like, but then he's sort of looking at Damrod and like looking back at you because Damrod spoke to him. I was only asking. Gotta ask, you know. It's my job.
Just further east. Horses get a lot better care further east.
I don't know of anyone further east. Hmm. And you see, like, he's frowning at, like, the three of you now squinting.
You're gonna keep shoveling Aurelion?
Uh, I feel like my charisma is probably higher than you guys'.
I mean, you're the one that's really talking right now. I mean, I said my piece and he answered me. It's time for me to walk off, but
Yeah, I'm still walking.
you keep
Yeah,
trying to
we
explain.
never
Well,
stopped
see, this
walking.
horse was born of this breed, and this was his father. This was his mother.
No, I'm still walking, but if he's like talking to me, then I'm not gonna just ignore him. That'd look weird.
I would lean in and whisper to Aurelion, "Do you think he suspects?"
It's hard to tell where the line of suspicion and stupidity is with people of Bree, and he is saying this in whatever the common language is, because if he just started speaking Sindarin, that would look real suspicious.
Yeah.
Not saying it loudly.
Yeah. Do you try and put on an accent at all?
Yeah. If I start talking like I'm from Rivendell, then he'll get real suspicious.
Yeah, you've got like this magical ringing in your voice that
Yeah.
you say y'all.
Yeah. He says y'all, but Rook and Damrod would catch the cringe.
Give me a performance. Let's see how.
Maracar would take credit in teaching you y'all.
Come on. No, okay, inspiration again. Come on. I had to have heard a better accent than this. Come on. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
He actually just screams.
Like,
I'm an elf, y'all.
you say y'all, and because you don't quite know what you've heard some of the Breelanders say it, and because you don't know the context of what it's supposed to be, you say it in completely the wrong place at the wrong time. But he's by this time he's like distracted with Damrod. We'll just keep yourself to yourself there, Ranger. And your friends there. We'll be watching you.
As you should. It's your job, after all. Come, you two.
And he turns and goes to shut the door. Puts the bolt back on.
Y'all Rangers always getting up to some kind of something.
Let us go. Let us go make sure Maracar found the schoolhouse.
Okay, so we are on our map of Bree. You've come in through the east gate, number 1, off to the right hand side here. As you walk in, You can see that there are quite a few people busying themselves about, or just generally standing around. Um, Maracar, as you are walking through this settlement, you realise this is probably the biggest settlement you have ever seen or been in. You're also thinking that you've only ever seen this many people in one place, as in, like you're seeing all these houses, and you're seeing like that. You're thinking, do people? Does everyone live in these houses? Right? Because if they did, that's a lot of people. Like about
Mhm.
the same amount of people as like the mid-year fair, like the high sun fair in the
Oh
during the middle
yeah,
of the year,
yeah. Good times at the
where
festival.
yeah, where like a couple of the Bjorning villages would probably maybe just come together, and they would have like a celebration, and you know maybe a 80 people or something like that, 100 people maybe, 200 people maximum one year, where one of the other villages got involved, but nobody likes them anymore, so they don't get involved. Um, you know, if all these people gathered together, it'd be the most people you've ever seen in one place ever.
He's shocked by this. Not so shocked that he drops one of the carabiniers, but so like he's got one like kind of as if he was like carrying a barrel in one hand, just kind of like slumped over, and then the
Yeah.
other one has a piggyback ride on his back, and
Um,
he's walking through and he's just like looking around at like the people, and anytime someone like makes eye contact with him, he says, "Hello, hello, greetings. Hello, I'm my name is Maracar. Hello. Oh, hello. Excuse me." And he's just kind of like he's so happy to just be around this many people. It's like this is amazing. All of you people live here, and he'll like try to not start conversations with people, but like the party probably catches up with him because he just keeps stopping and like talking to people and like asking like, "Oh, wow, is this your house? How long has it been here? Do you live? Oh, you know those people too? Like they all live right in this area? Wow, this is so amazing. Is there like an event going on? Is there a bard in town that everyone's here for? No, you just live here." And he'll just keep on going like that, just taking like two steps at a time, closer and closer to
Kevin,
Every
Kevin,
Go
to
on.
the schoolhouse.
how are the Carabiniers taking all this?
They're probably
Um,
so annoyed with him.
yeah, like this is where they live, sort of thing. So it's like, oh, we haven't heard. I thought his name was the Quiet.
But how are they taking like having him holding them like barrels?
Like the one
Just
the
just one like a barrel.
the one on his back is sort of um happy with it. What this is probably not the first time in this journey that he's carried this one, and he's just resigned to the fact that he's gonna do it.
Lisa is also known as Backpack.
Backpack Lisa.
Backpack
Uh,
Lisa. Lisa the backpack.
the Also, Maracar, you're used to these low, long huts. Well, not huts, but long houses, right?
They got
Or
two-story
rounds.
houses here.
These are two-story houses. Like
Oh my god, how do you even
they
get
are,
that high?
they are, they are 2 stories. The first story has got like some of them have like stone, and then the upper
Mhm,
story is
mhm.
wood, and then you even see like
Must have taken forever.
you even see one window, um one these shutters come open like this, and this woman is there just like wafting out some wet clothing, um and then she reaches in and she gets a pan, and she like chucks it out the window. and it splashes on the floor.
Oh, watch out, Henry! And he kind of like moves Henry up so he doesn't get splashed by
So do
by
we,
mud.
do we
Just
catch
hang him.
up?
And he is this woman throwing the pot out of the window? Is are they like in a top like the second story window?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, he would stop and be like, "Wow, you live in there? How far can you see? Can you see the gate from there?" And he kind of looks up and he goes, "Oh well, I mean, I can see the gate from here also." Wow. And he would. I imagine like maybe Lisa is like trying to like, all right, well, no, we
Kick
gotta
you on.
go
She's like
forward
there,
and
kicking you on like a
yeah,
horse.
like a horse. They go, oh, sorry, I gotta go. Maybe I'll talk to you later. And
And she
he just
winces
keeps
because
on.
her ankles hurt. So like she kicks you. Oh,
And Frank
He goes,
or Hank
oh,
or
that's right.
whoever,
Yeah, we need to get you to the school.
Frank or Hank or whoever you just threw over your shoulders, like whisper it in Lisa's ear now that his head's right by her head. Like, wasn't he trying to help us and get us like medically attended?
what do the rest?
He doesn't want to be rude.
What do the rest think of Maracar?
I'm
Um,
I'm shooing away the guy that's following behind him playing the banjo, and trying to get rid of him.
I would.
Oh,
I'd,
he loves the banjo.
I'd look at her really. I'm like, didn't you say low profile?
I said us low profile. Honestly, this could
You
be.
didn't tell him.
No, listen, if he's
Nope.
making a fool of himself, that keeps the eyes off of us. This is beneficial to us. But then, like, he keeps looking over at Maracar and he keeps saying all this nonsense, and he's just like, oh no. And after a little while, he will just go up to Maracar and, like, get on his tiptoes to whisper to him. He says, your yokel's showing.
And he says, and he looks down at his zipper, but he doesn't have one. And then he looks down and he goes,
There's a
I'm
loincloth
sorry,
again.
I don't understand.
No, no more loincloths, please.
No loincloths
No,
allowed
no,
on this channel
no.
anymore.
Oh no.
Charlie, I'll send you that later.
I bet you will.
Oh, you missed the loincloth situation. It's
You
too
were-
hot for TV. We can't.
Too hot for quick.
Yeah, you think hot tub streams are bad? Whew.
I thought you said, "Did I miss it?" I was like, "Nate, you were part of it."
Oh no, I remember. I was there. I was there when it happened.
You were the loinclothy.
God, that's one of the best clips.
Dude, can you like link that on the channel right now?
I'm about to right now. While y'all continue on.
Okay.
Hey Jamie, can you pull that up for me?
And he will just like shake his head and rub his temples and just. This is not a county fair. You should not be this excited about all this.
Well, what's there not to be excited about, Aurelion? I mean, all of these people are living like together, and like
Yes.
it's such a nice. It's so
No
big.
profile.
Do people not live together where you come from?
Oh, of course we do, but we see most of the people maybe 4 times a year.
Oh my word. And he's just rubbing his forehead.
And Maracar would go on and tell you about the 4 festivals like each season. And he specifically mentions that the winter festival is just to check up to see who's still around in the middle of the winter.
And Rook,
It's like,
Rook is
rough.
glued to this conversation. You're like, you see people 4 times a year? That's a lot.
I'm just looking between you, and when we like get a moment where things are a little bit more calm, he's going to just say, I cannot get a moment's alone when I'm in Rivendell. There are too many people.
More people than this?
More people than this.
A lot more.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Well, with all these people, how am I going to find... Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got to look.
Do they
And
not make
hands
schools
off.
where you come from, Maracar?
What'd you say?
Do they not make schools where you're from?
Oh, I've never been to school.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
No, there is no school.
No, I don't.
You've got to think that where Maracar's from, his cultural development is probably to that of maybe
The
um,
dawning of agriculture.
it's probably more so the Roman period, the like Germanic tribes during the Roman period, the Celts, the Brits, the Gauls, that sort of level of industry and stuff. And then
Yeah,
this this place is probably more so um, probably late Anglo-Saxon, you know, 11th, 12th century, something like that.
I will justify that by
yeah.
saying that Aurelian, having not gotten outside of Rivendell that much, doesn't know much about the current status of the world and prefers
Sure, sure.
historical subjects. So um,
Yeah,
he probably has heard that Bree is pretty back there. Not Bree. The Bjornings are pretty back there, but to not even have a school, he just kind of like hangs his head and is like, "Well, that explains a lot of things."
well, and Maracar looks at you, and he starts like slowly walking again with guidance from Lisa, um, and he kind of waves you along to come and talk with him as he's walking away, and
Yeah,
he's saying,
Maracar wouldn't even know what a school is. Like,
yeah,
for all you know, that's like where people go to get healed.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm thinking at this point. But he's like, so, and I'm sure someone's mentioned like, oh yeah, that school's where you learn, um, and he'd probably go along and say something along the lines of like, well, when I grew up, we learned how to take care of the farm. And my mom and my mother and my father, they had 12 kids, for the sole reason is half of them were going to get kicked by a horse and die. So we needed people on the farm, and when your dad and your mom are too old to work anymore, then we have to take care of them. That's why we also have to go and have lots of kids so that they can work on the farm and take care of us when they're old or when we're old. um, we don't have time to like you just sit down in a room and people like tell you things.
It is easy to forget how short you humans live for. Now, when you say your mother and father get too old, about how old would that be?
um I don't know, 60.
He kind of just like looks to Rook and kind of snickers a little bit.
Looks like
Yeah, and he will drop his voice so hopefully Lisa and Hank or whatever don't hear this, but he will just lean into Maracar and say, Maracar, how old would you say I am?
oh
um
no.
hmm and he'd look at you and he'd kind of smile, and he says, oh,
Don't
I
answer
know
that.
this game.
Don't answer
you
that.
never you never tell someone how old they look, because that could be very offensive. You look great, and you don't need to worry about your skin complexion right there on your cheek. It's nothing noticeable at all.
That is not what she meant, Maracar. He
He
meant.
he looks a little offended that you would even suggest that.
You would you would look at Marikar's face, and he has no idea why. Just lost.
I have to see.
Well, I gotta bring these people to the room where you sit down and someone talks to you place. Do you remember which way he said this was?
Not particularly,
And he
but you
just starts
can.
looking around.
But given the fact that this so clearly looks like a school, and wait, would I? Can we see it from here?
It's up the hill somewhere.
Okay. Um, I will point in that direction and say, well, you wouldn't know what it looks like, but that certainly
Oh, it's
looks like by our definition of what a school looks like. And sometimes healing and learning go hand in hand. When I was in Rivendell, I was required for my courses to also take medicine.
Oh yes, I remember you helped me heal when I got very badly injured in that ambush that we discovered happened to us. Um, would you just be able to heal Lisa and Henry
I would be
instead of me
able.
walking them to the school? Because I don't even know where to bring them.
Um, Kevin, what's my materials looking like? Let's see. I've got how many lay on hands do I have? Let me find that real fast. I have got two more uses of lay on hands, or hands of a healer rather.
Uh, yeah. Again, it's a case of that's how many you got left. When you take a long rest, you'll have some time to make up whatever else you need. That's what you've been collecting on the way here. You just need to, you just need somewhere clean and safe and sort of settled for you to sit down, prepare everything else to replenish them, basically.
Well, if we can get to a sterile environment, then I would be glad to do that. I don't want to put them on the ground where God knows what could climb into their wounds.
Yeah, as a little bit further down the street, another woman opens up some of the top floor window, gets another bucket of something and chucks it out and it slops all out onto the street.
Oh,
Aurelia
watch
could
out!
jump away from that and kind of just like look in disgust.
Maracar will laugh so hard because he just like the happy laugh, like, oh man, that's so cool that they do that. Like they just throw stuff out their window because
I
they
would turn
can.
around. I would look at him going, "What is wrong with you?"
This is amazing. Like this is
No,
peak
that's called
civilization.
disgusting.
It can't get better than this.
What? I
Yeah, like
shake my head.
Maracar probably lives in a community of maybe 50
What?
at most.
Yeah, I was about to say 40, 50 people.
And
Yeah,
like
like
25 of those are his siblings.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Dating real hard.
yeah, and that's it. It's sort of and within like where he's standing, he can probably see like
Oh
just
yeah.
as that many people, and there's still
Yeah,
more
we
up the
got
hill.
Pappy lives down that way and Uncle Jerry lives down that way. And yeah, no, we're all like within screaming distance.
Um, you've you've stopped. Let me just have a look on the map. Um, yeah, so
Um,
you've probably stopped at the um, just past that first intersection. You took a right and then you took a left, and you're just climbing up the hill a little bit, and you're just near that bend. Um, let me just ping. That would even help. Yeah, you're probably like somewhere along this row here. Um, and from behind you, you just hear right. And Maracar, this what looks to you like a small child is running, chasing a goose. It's literally like, come back here, come back here, you pest, and like, it's not the sound of a child that's speaking. It sounds like a grown man, and running without any shoes on, um, like trousers that come like halfway down his shin, little pot belly, fur on his down his face, down the sides, like really furry sideburns, right? Not a beard, but furry sideburns, curly, really thick, like curly hair. Um, but it's only like coming up to like your waist, if that. And it's chasing like this goose down the road, and it's like this. They're running straight at you, and your party. And the goose kind of gets there and like turns and sort of starts running off down the hill a little bit more. And this child is like running after it.
Before he has a chance to even react, I will put my hand over his mouth and say, "Do not say a word," because I guarantee anything he will say will be wrong.
um, and as you do that, you just notice Maracar giggles his little ass off. He thinks it's the funniest fucking thing he's ever seen in his life.
Like
He is
you've
laughing
seen
from the
dwarves.
stomach.
Yeah, you've seen dwarves, but this was not a dwarf, right? Um,
Uh,
and yeah, like you look up the hill, the direction you're going, as you're giggling, and you can see
yeah.
like just three or four of them, just standing there, pretty much exactly the same, and they're just standing there, like just leaning against what looks like a post with a lamp on it. Like there's
How,
a tall wooden pole with a lamp with like light in it. You don't know how this is even done, and they're just standing there going on a pipe. Them all there just smoking on a pipe. These children smoking on a pipe.
Damrod
uh,
like taps you on the shoulder and says, "That's called a lamppost."
Wasn't it a
and
lamppost that
Maracar,
like almost ruined C.S. Lewis and uh, Tolkien's friendship?
I didn't know
They
that.
got into a huge fight because they kept disagreeing on whether light posts could be in like fantasy settings. Why the wizard, the witch, the wizard, and the lion, whatever, and the wardrobe. It
The
started doing
lion, the witch, and the wardrobe.
that thing. Yes.
Ray, did you just have a stroke? You got to lay off the potassium there.
Too many potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah.
I think I could have a few more
You
actually
got
on
potato
screen.
brain. So as you're saying this to Maracar, he's looking at these little guys, and he's trying to hold in the biggest laughter, and he looks he looks at Damrod, and he says, I can't walk past them. They're so funny." He's like, look at their feet.
Okay,
They're so tiny. They're smoking a little pipe.
I get in my bag and I pull out a blanket and I throw it at his face and I say, "Cover up."
He's trying so hard to hold it in.
Kevin, this is what happens when you put us in a town.
All right, no,
Hello.
he composes himself.
You can wear my blanket like a scarf if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and
it's over his mouth,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can see his big rosy cheeks peeking up over the thing because he's
give
cheesing so hard.
everyone give me perception checks.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm getting too silly.
That is. I rolled 3 sevens this session. Oh my word.
If I'm perceiving those hobbits, I got them clocked.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
they're all looking at you, and they're there shaking their head. Outsiders, bloody pain here. More of them coming up from the south. Did you see that group come up from the south? Pub. They're just standing there like leaning up against like a cart of some sort, just like old men gathering together.
Yeah, like the 4 old guys who are always at a Dunkin' Donuts at 6 a.m.
And their feet are slightly larger than you'd expect, and they are
So
hairy.
funny.
And you're looking at the one guy. The one guy is like standing on one leg, and he's got his other leg up, and you can see the bottom of his feet, and they're like leathery bottoms on their feet. Like you can tell that they never wear shoes.
And what makes Maracar just so at the brink of busting out at laughter is because he's picturing them, these little guys, in the biggest shoes. Like he's picturing them in his shoes, and he just thinks it's the funniest thing. And like getting up in like a big chair and like has like a big knife and fork on a big plate. Like he's just thinking of these little guys in big situations.
um, do you again like you pick up on what they're saying as you walk past, and the others are trying to just usher you past and shut you up.
Oh yeah, Maracar is trying to scuttle his way out of there without offending them, and he feels bad after he gets far enough away that he laughed at them, and he's gonna go apologize
Oh no, stop.
later on.
Can I stop him, please?
Well,
Yeah.
we gotta get Lisa and Henry to. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about them again. We have to get Lisa and Henry to the schoolhouse, and then the children are gonna help them with their injuries.
Look, get me to the entrance of the stupid schoolhouse and I'll fix them. We don't have to involve the quote unquote children. And he says quote unquote out loud.
I legitimately thought you were saying that out of character, Nate, just to be like, "This is what we need to do next." Until you
Yeah, I
were
don't know what that what
until you started laughing, and you were like, "I just keep thinking about them," and then I'm like, "Okay, nope, this isn't character."
yeah, that was all in character.
um, Rook, you're looking around at Bree, and like I said, you've seen the settlements of men um, on the east side of Mirkwood, and compared to Dale, pretty similar architecture compared to Dale. Maybe a little bit more advanced, a lot more stonework in Dale, uh, much more compact, and that's behind stone walls, and there's a stone palace there. Um, Lake Town itself is certainly a lot more densely populated than this, and that's made out of wood, and it's out on the lake, um, and there's probably more people in Lake Town. So this isn't too unfamiliar to you. Um, it might maybe even a little bit disappointing compared to what you saw. You wanted to go and see a bigger city that
Yeah.
you've heard somewhere. um, and you make your way up to the school. Um, there's a a taller woman than you've seen so far. The people of Bree are all shorter than all of you, probably by a good foot. Um, if Maracar and Damrod are maybe like over 6 feet, um, somewhere between 6'6" and 6'3", something like that. Maybe I'm picturing. A lot of these are like a foot shorter than you, both men and women. Um, they are short, but they're broad and stocky-ish. Um, Plain looking, dark hair, simple folk, but not simple as in the rustic simple, just simple as in, you know, no nothing too fancy. Um, you make your way up to the school, and a woman steps out. A slightly elder woman steps out. Um, when you knock on the door, she opens it up, and oh,
Hello.
oh, and who do we have here? You are not local to these lands.
No, we're caravaneers. Well, I'm not. We walked with them. Um, I'm not good at the talking stuff, but I have my friend Miss Lisa here, and then he lifts up Henry, and he says, and I have my friend Mr. Henry here, and they require medicinal uh, uh, stuff, medicine from your children.
Oh, oh, the children.
I
Well,
was told the
put
children can
put
help
them
them.
put them down. That's not going to do them any good. You carrying them like that. I'm surprised
Oh,
Henry hasn't busted his spleen or something.
oh my God. I am so sorry, Mr. Henry. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Are you okay?
He,
And he would,
he's rubbing his stomach. I know you meant well, boy. I know you meant well.
oh, I'm so sorry.
And he stands up and dusts himself off, and he helps Lisa inside. But that's quite enough of your help. Please don't help us again.
Maracar holds back a tear
Oh,
and he goes, okay, Mr. Henry, I appreciate you allowing me to help you. Um, I hope you all have a very good night. And he walks off very kind of like trying to keep his mind like, okay, no, we're good. We're good. And he
Dis-
walks off very,
despite despite any injuries they had that they needed you to carry them, um, they hurry or they sort of scarper inside as fast as possible, like darting past this tall woman. It's, thank you very much. I shall tend to them.
thank you, Mrs. Schoolhouse.
And she looks back over his shoulder. Yes, thank you. Have a pleasant evening. And she shuts the door.
And Maracar would look at the party and say, so, so you all needed to come to Bree as well, right? Where to? Or are we doing like a thing where like we're splitting up and we'll meet up again tomorrow? Because we're like traveling companions now. And he'd kind of like start picking at his fingernail.
Aurelian looks super uncomfortable, and he's like, I was under the impression that you all were coming to Bree for your own reasons.
Oh well, no, no, I mean, I have my own reasons to be here. I have my own reasons. Just like maybe we could like have breakfast or something tomorrow, maybe lunch.
Second breakfast.
Wait, you have two breakfasts over here? You have that much food in this town?
I heard from I've heard from friends who know these tiny creatures, and apparently they have second breakfast and afternoon tea and a whole slew of
Elevensies,
things. Elevensies.
Jaw
supper,
dropped.
lunch.
Supper.
Wait, and he's like counting as you're going through. He's like, you have, you have one, two, three.
Do you know how to count?
You have 14 meals a day.
Okay, cool.
Roku just looked down and going, he can't count.
Brooke, might I speak with you for a moment?
Wait, no. 11
Yeah.
so 11 pieces, 11 meals? No.
You, at this time, there's like a group of smaller children, like running down the hill. There's like three or
Actual
four of
children?
them. Is that again?
Like actual children?
Uh, they look like smaller versions of the children, and they're running down the hill like three or four of them. Quick, quick! We're gonna miss our tea.
Hell yeah.
Is it already afternoon?
Oop, I didn't mean that.
Apparently.
Maracar, he would just look off into the sky and start giggling to himself. Just picturing these little guys with the tea.
Brooke, might I speak with you in private?
He looks down and go, okay, gosh.
We just go off this. How did we end up babysitting him?
I don't know. I feel like he needs us now, though.
Like, it would probably be really bad karma to leave this poor horrible man by himself, right?
Bad karma, yes. Less annoying for us, also yes.
I don't even believe in karma, but I feel like this is gonna be something that comes back to bite us if we just let him wander.
Do we tie him up?
Do we tie him up? No.
Well, I mean, he's gonna wander otherwise.
Mm. What are those leashes that they use for smaller children? Do we have some of those?
Like, like, like for a horse, like a
Yes. I feel like horses wander less.
he would look rather odd in a saddle.
Um, that I won't deny, but it's easier to keep a hold of. What is Maracar doing right now as I look over to see?
Uh, I mean, he's walking over to the little guys
Oh
that he
no!
left them, and he's gonna apologize to them. But Maracar was trying to take a step back because he feels like he's taking up too much space.
Like these are just some of these children are literally just above your knee, like
So
like
close.
thigh high.
Um, all right. So before Maracar gets up close, though, he he kind of woosahs. He grounds himself, and then he is going to go talk to the little guys.
Y'all, he's about to go apologize to these kids for laughing at the hobbits.
Cousin, are you sure we can't tie him up?
It'll draw attention. Maracar,
Yes, yes.
Maracar, we have much to discuss about these so-called children.
Oh, the ones with the big feet.
Please stop making this worse.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But like, just think about them, like coming home and then they take off their little coat, and then they just got big shoes. They gotta like
They
untie them
don't.
and put them next to the door.
There's no shoes. There's
Well,
no
yeah,
shoes.
because they could probably cost a fortune.
Th-
You see how big their feet are for the little guys.
Damrod, how long have you known this man?
How long have we been traveling together?
I lost count.
No, I'm asking Aurelion.
Uh, all right, that answers my question. Do you
That's
know any?
about a half a day's longer than that.
And might you know any way to rein him in from all of this?
I don't know. I could use a good laugh. I don't. Some of the rangers are a bit serious.
All right,
A
Maracar,
little entertainment is always great.
Maracar, why don't you forget about the children for now? We are searching for someone if you would like to help.
Oh yeah. No, of course. Yep.
You see um you see someone in a thick thick green cloak, a spear, metal helm, um, and uh, a some padded armor, a padded doublet, right? Um, and he's standing there with his spear, and he's standing like watching you intently. He seems like a young man, not very old, um, but he's standing there very intently watching your group. He's not trying to hide. In fact, he's standing in a position where he's almost trying to let you know that he's watching you.
Well, it seems maybe our attempts at being covert haven't exactly borne fruit here.
Why were
I
we
bl-
being covert?
Well, we were trying to be, but
Oh, did I ruin that?
Yes. Yeah.
yes, you did. Yes, yes.
I'm so sorry.
So please keep your voice down, your excitement way down, and do not approach these quote unquote children any longer.
It's not a good
I
look.
had
You
a
shouldn't.
zipper. I zipped my mouth.
Do I recognize anything about this person that's watching us?
Give me a traditions roll.
Traditions.
Traditions.
Oh, good. I have 0 in that skill, and that's a nat 20.
Nailed
Oh,
it.
nice.
Okay. That's
Turn it
brilliant.
down.
But watch this be pointless.
Oh, yeah.
This young Breelander is one of the newest wardens, and the wardens are effectively the sort of militia of Bree. Um, it's a it's a role where you sort of I can't remember what the term is, where it's almost like a term of service, where it's like, oh, it's your turn to do it. It's oh god, all right, okay, I guess I'll do it. Last time you was here, Damrod, might not have been all that long ago. You know that this kid was pretty new on the job, um, and he followed you everywhere you went in Bree. Now that might have only been the Inn at the Prancing Pony, but he was there. He watched you go in, and when you came back out, he was still there watching. Right? He followed you to the gate. Um, he like he an eager beaver, shall we say? Um, and he would just say to you, "Oh, I'm watching you. I am. I'm watching you. My job. Take my job. I'm going to be first warden. I am. Mark you. Mark my words. I'm going to be first warden. I'm not going to let anything come to harm here. So watching you. And it's the same kid. Maybe a year or so on, doing exactly the same thing.
Does he look as if he's been promoted at this point, as far as I can
No,
tell?
no.
Uh, Tamrod will approach and say, "Have you made first warden yet?"
Stiffens up. I are you mocking me? Listen, takes a while, takes effort, takes dedication to get to first warden. I'll have you know. And making sure that strangers, the likes of you rangers, and whoever your strange friends are, and make sure that you don't get up to any mischief.
Without looking at him, still looking away, Rook would say, "Those who gloat about what they are going to be normally don't make it."
Oh, and he sort of turns his head. And who are you? And he sort of starts marching over towards your position. Unless you was trying to do it where he didn't hear you.
Uh, a little bit of both. I mean, I wanted him to hear me, but at the same time, I didn't think he was going to come marching over here either.
Yeah, he's literally
If he
marching
starts
over
marching over,
towards.
Maracar is going to go stand by uh, Rook.
Do I know this kid's name?
No.
I'll not like step in his way, but I'll kind of like make it where he has to go around me a bit, but speak to him as I kind of sidestep there. And like what was your name again?
Let me find this kid's name.
I've been sitting over here. Please don't ask his name. Please don't ask his name.
I could make it up, but I didn't want to.
I wasn't going to until Rook spoke up.
We're gonna say, oh, hold on. This is why I prepared my book. Which is here, not on the phone. My name is Harry. Harry Goatleaf.
And Damrod gets a little closer, and like to where he can somewhat whisper, and the kid can still hear him, but kind of seem like he's trying to keep everyone else from hearing him. I would imagine he speaks loud enough where probably Rook and Aurelion can hear if they're close enough. And do we come through the east gate?
Yeah.
Is there a gate to the west or just to the south?
No, just to the south.
He'll kind of lean in to the kid and like somewhat whisper, but he's intentionally saying it loud enough to where Aurelion and Rook could hear if they're listening. I heard that if you want to be what you say you want to be, I heard that a couple of elves came in through the south gate, disguised.
Elves? No. Elves? What are they doing here? What do they want? Give me a deception check.
Another one I have 0 in.
Good things. Oh, good things.
I'm using my inspiration.
No. Yeah. Oh no!
God dang it. Can I use my other inspiration?
He
I think that's a no.
Yes, no.
yeah, that's enough. He stops. You trying to trick me?
I will turn to Rook and just kind of grumble. Helps. That sounds made up.
It is, mate. There ain't no elves anymore. Never was. All made up. All made up by you rangers.
That's something a ranger would do. I'll whisper that to Rook.
I whisper to Aurelion. We can knock him out, right?
I give him a thumbs up behind his back.
Okay.
Damrod throws his head back and starts laughing. You got me. There are no elves in Bree.
So what are you trying to hide? Huh? And he's sort of like waving the spear at you a bit. Not pointing at you, but just like rattling it towards you.
Is he looking away from me at this point?
No. Like it's like him, Damrod, and then like you two, like with Maracar.
Wait, are you doing that, Nate?
Well, he's waving a spear around, and Maracar grabs his club, and he's just waiting for something to happen.
That you do see that there are people like stopping and sort of like watching and tutting at the situation. Not at you grabbing your club or anything like that, but just tutting at the situation. Oh, more potatoes.
More potatoes, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow. I lean over. As soon as he looks away, I'm hit him in the back of the head.
I'd wait until a crowd was dispersed. We're
I
gonna
look, I look around, see the crowd. Oh no.
low profile. Remember? Oh no, that was a joke, right? That was a joke roll, right?
I mean, but it's a 20 now, so.
Hey, it's on. Oh, here we go.
Oh no.
is Maracar taking the club?
Oh yeah. It's a
Yeah.
club.
Are you actually going to hit him with it?
Well, okay. Here's my question: Is he like threatening him?
I think the time for questions has passed, Nate.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Here,
Well,
it's on.
yeah, I crack him.
Don't say it.
So,
Please.
so what happens is that he's swinging the swinging the spear around, and
Dang, cousin, he beat me
Maracar
to it.
says,
He's
He
shaking the
says-
spear. To be fair, he's not like pointing at it as swinging
Yeah,
the
yeah,
spear around.
he's rattling
He's
it.
like,
"Oh,
so
I
he's
thought
not
he
like
was,
the lo-
It's too late
No,
now. It's
he's
too
not
late
lowered it.
he
now.
was like pointing at
No, no, no.
at
He's
Amrod.
not. He's not
Okay.
lowered it. He's just sort of like instead of pointing with his finger now, he's sort of like motioning with the spear like this.
Oh.
Well,
But
he
he's not like-
was.
It appears that I have misunderstood the situation. So
Okay, no.
did you or did Maracar? That's what we need to know at this
you
point.
can retract your natural
Me.
20.
Oh, can we say this happens right as I
Oh.
to be like, hey, stop, don't do that.
Yeah, like
I mean,
Maracar
yeah.
can maybe that sort of
Yeah.
is starting like the jolliness of
Ooh.
everything that's going on is starting to wear off, right? And this
He's starting to
kid
get
being
flashbacks.
sort of this kid being a little bit aggressive, and antagonistic maybe, is just bringing back that PTSD moment a little bit in you.
Yeah, so Maracar, he grabs his club and he says, so he grabs his club and he's not like raising it over his head or anything. He just kind of like has it by his side, and he says, I would really appreciate if you tone things down. And he's like gripping the club a little harder, and he would say, this level of hostility is very uncomfortable.
Maracar, this is an old friend of mine. There is no hostility here. He's merely doing his job. Most of us are strangers to him. Most of us are strangers to Bree. You must excuse his haste, but he is, after all, trying to protect these people that you have found so much joy in.
Then he looks at you and he shakes his head, and he says, I apologize for my hot-headedness. And he, yeah, that's
me
fair. Said Joe.
Give
what's up?
give me an intimidation roll, Maracar.
Oddly enough, he's not that great at that.
Okay, roll me an athletics check, and we'll treat it as a strength-based intimidation roll.
Oh, sure. Ah,
Mm.
yeah, I'm gonna use an inspiration on that.
There we
Much
go.
better. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
When you stepped up, there was something in your voice, and again, he's used to seeing like Breelanders who are like 5'5". You know, the tallest of them is maybe 5'8", sort of thing. Um, and you're a lot taller. Not only are you a lot taller, you're huge. You've got that farm build on you, and you begin
Yep.
to loom over him. Um, and he physically sort of like sinks back a little bit like this, and then as Damrod has sort of soothed you, calmed you down, made you step back a little bit, um, he's like, no, hey, like we won't have anybody threatening um, the the protectors, the wardens of Bree. The Reeve will hear of this. He will, and he turns and starts like almost like striding off quickly down the road. Uh, give me perception checks.
That is the fourth 7.
Ray
Unlucky
needs to
7.
re-roll. Reload. Ooh.
Oh, Rook's got us covered.
Yeah.
Oof.
Rook, maybe you were just maneuvering yourself into a different position, so you had a better angle to see. But you probably saw him sort of like wipe
Oh,
his eye a little bit as he's like striding off down the hill.
We made him cry.
Maracar, his eyes widen, and he goes, "What do we do to make him cry?"
threaten him with a club, perhaps.
I'm
Oh,
pretty
I have to go
sure.
apologize.
No!
No, no, you don't.
Started running off. He goes, "Well, you can't just come into a new town and start making people cry."
Apparently you can, Maracar.
Well,
Apparently that is something you're quite skilled at.
he was aggressive.
Stop talking.
Please stop.
And he just
Um,
kind of starts fiddling with his finger a little bit, his nervous tick.
Damrod, you probably know that none of the other wardens of Bree uh, are anything like this. In fact, a lot of the time they're quite lazy and they don't want to do anything. It's sort of a chance to sort of loaf off. The reason why they don't like to do the job is because someone always gets the night shift or someone always gets the cold shift. And um, you know, other than that, like they'll pretty much not do anything.
Yeah, they keep having shifts where like the Breelanders bite someone. It's weird.
Yeah, there's always that one hobbit that just won't
Mm-hmm.
bites at the ankles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whereas this kid, he he seems very genuine in that he wants to do the job and he wants to be the first warden. He's just extra.
And I'll turn to Maracar again and just reiterate, Maracar, you cannot shake your club at anyone that just anyone that brandishes a weapon. You must learn
No.
when it's someone who's threatening and someone who's protecting. This young man is simply trying to protect his people from things unknown. Look at you. You may have been happy to see what new things you've seen in this town. But imagine if someone twice your size, carrying an axe and a club and traveling with two or three other strangers, showed up in your small village.
Well, we
After
would invite him in for dinner.
after knowing that there are raiders about, and after having had much trouble with strangers, you'd be a bit wary. That's merely all this young boy is. He's being wary. He is taking his job as a watchman seriously. Most do not do that.
I see. I see. No, I understand. I will. I just I don't want to be too late again, but I'll work on it.
Too late.
Too late.
And by that you mean
He kind of
And by
looks
that
at
he
you guys
means
and
that
says,
we
"Well, if,
must get to the tavern before they close.
um Damrod, you seem to know this town a little bit better. Where might you surmise we might be able to find someone?
The tavern before they close.
Yeah, if there's news
Yeah.
to be had, if there's somewhere to be, the Inn and the Prancing Pony, is the place.
To the pony we go.
Maracar would offer a piggyback ride to one lucky individual."
No, I will pass on that.
Yeah, hard pass.
Rook, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maracar, you have to come with us because I worry about what you will get into if you're not.
That's a fact.
He seems so confused by that, but he says, "Okay, well, yeah, if you want to hang out, we can hang out."
That's not what I said.
It's not no.
Um, Ranger, I suppose you would be the best guide, if you will, and he will motion for you to lead the way.
And I will lead the way.
Yeah, you lead the way back down the hill. You can see the Inn of the Prancing Pony, a large building, right, pretty much right in the middle of Bree. Um, Again, the history of this inn is that there has been an inn here before. It's rumored before the kings came back across the sea, um, as in the Dunedain came back to Middle Earth, and you make your way down, and you stand outside of the inn of the Prancing Pony. You see a large lamp, and beneath it is a sign swinging with a white pony rearing up. Um, and it says The Inn of the Prancing Pony by Barleyman Butterbur. There is noise, but not too much. Um, you can hear some conversation, some loud conversations going on. Um, Maybe you even hear a slamming of a tankard of ale at some point. Um, Nothing aggressive, but occasionally you'll hear a flare up of laughter as well.
Um,
And you can make your way in if you wish.
I will go straight to the bar and I'll try to look like I'm just meandering a little bit to make pull out my pipe and wait for the others.
So Aurelian is the first one. Then he opens the door. Um, he opens the doors, and the noise intensifies. The doors are quite thick and heavy doors. Um, Maracar, you see that there is uh, something sort of translucent where the shutters are. It's like you can see through it, but there's definitely something there. Something you've probably never seen before.
Well, I go up and touch it.
It's like smooth, a little bit bumpy, but pretty smooth, and you can sort of see through it, and you can see inside. Um, and but again, you
Oh
put
yeah,
your hand
no,
on it.
he
It's a
he
physical thing.
goes up
It's
to
like
there and like he starts.
metal, but you can see through it.
I would go through the door also. Just kind
metal,
of
but I
go in after really on.
Damrod, Damrod, and he looks around for Damrod.
I'm still standing next to you.
Oh, here you are. What is this? And he starts like yanking on it.
What is it?
It's glass.
Oh, you mean like the way I thought you were thinking of like a shade or something. Oh
No,
yeah,
no.
so he's like knocking on it and stuff, like probably a little harder
Tink, tink, tink.
than he should. Yeah, tink tink. And he goes, what is this? You can't put your hand through it."
It's called glass, Maracar. It keeps the elements from entering the building.
Ass.
No. Glass.
Keeps the elements from entering.
Maracar, you are a gift.
Or curse.
And Marakai, like you look back and you put your hands against it, and maybe you put your face. You do that thing where you put your face against it.
Yeah, he's like, he just, bleh.
Uh,
And
uh,
he keeps, like, and he probably, honestly, he probably accidentally pushes the window out.
Oh,
It's pretty well built, but as you're doing it, a face appears all of a sudden on the other side, and it's one of these children, curly sideburns, round cherub like face. And he's like, "Hey, what what what's he doing?" And then like straight away, like more jump up and they're looking through the window at you. It's actually the four guys you saw earlier, the four children you saw
Am I
earlier.
proficient
you
in
apologize,
unarmed?
Nate. I will come and find you.
Am I proficient in unarmed combat?
Here we go.
I don't think so.
How the fuck do I roll in this thing?
Just roll a strength. Just roll
Oh, just strength.
straight up strength.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
Oof. Yeah, so
Maybe
when
you
that
slip in the
happens,
mud.
he like does a quick jab to the window, but he falls back and screams. Yeah, he sounds like
Just
that
like
too.
that.
Just like that. Yeah, exactly.
Like, look, lands on his ass in the mud.
Oh, I'm outside?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And he looks back and he puts his face back up and he goes, "Can you hear me?"
Before you get up, Damrod says, "That is ass." Points like down at you as you're sitting there in the mud. Points at the window. That is glass.
Wait, so they're both ass?
Did you get something in your ear in the fight?
More potatoes.
No, I'm doing all right. Hey, I'm hungry. Let's go inside.
Aurelian Rook, you walk in, obviously, as that was going on. And straight away, a jolly, short, fat man in a pretty dirty apron, a towel, a hand towel sort of cloth tucked in here, and comes bustling over to see. Oh, hello there. We got some new guests, I see. Be with you in just a minute. Oh, and turns and like scuttles off somewhere else, and
Oh, take your time. And he goes on puffing his pipe.
yeah, and then like as that's happening, you look to your right, and you just see these four hobbits like up the window, and then like jump a little bit like this, and almost fall off what they're standing on. Did you
And
see that?
can I
What's
see
he doing?
Can I see Maracar at the other end?
Not from your angle.
Gotcha. Then I'll just ignore them.
As Damrod and Maracar come into the inn. The barkeep comes hustling over again. Oh, so what will it be for you then? Will you be stopping the night?
Maracar would just look at Damrod.
Probably a night or two.
Oh,
Have you got room?
excellent. We yes, we have got rooms. We have had some stranger folk from the south coming up recently, but yes, we have rooms. We have rooms. We are getting full, but that's always a
Stranger
good thing.
folk.
Oh yes, stranger folk. Just folk from the south, from way south, south. Don't know. We not seen them before. A group of them came up saying something about troubles in the south and wanting to get away and whatnot, and here they are.
When you say stranger folk, do you mean just merely strangers? Or actual strange folk?
Oh, well, I guess I get what you're saying. He, well, they're strangers because we don't know who they are, yes, but they're queer, so shall you say. Uh, they look different, I guess, to us. Some of them have these squinty eyes, have a more sallow complexion to their skin, you see. Not caused any harm yet, but unusual to see folk moving up this way.
They
Everyone
speak
give
of
me a
trouble.
perception check. Yeah, just give me a perception check first.
At least it's not a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone but Aurelion. You
Aurelion's in the corner going, how can I make this accent better?
He's sitting there at the bar going, howdy.
Yeah, he's contemplating the purpose of y'all and wondering where yonder is.
Yonder's over there.
And yeah, you do a scan of the room, and you can see that there's like a party of dwarves. You've got these hobbits sitting by the window in a group of like 7. And that you see
How many dwarves
some,
are there?
not 7.
Okay.
And not 13 either. And you see some Damrod, some Breelanders sitting around a table, and there's probably 2 tables pretty close together, and they're conversing. But then in the furthest part, you do see some folk you've not seen around here before. And again, they look a little bit different to the Breelanders. You can definitely see the more slanty, squinty eyes, and they're kind of sitting there quietly, drinking, and they're looking over to the group that's just come in. The rest, no one else apart from the hobbits are paying much attention because they're obviously looking at Damrod, not Damrod, at Maracar, um, and shaking their head, doing that business. Whereas the ones in the corner are paying maybe a little bit more attention to you.
I'll just reiterate my question to the innkeeper. You say they speak of troubles.
Oh yes, dark tidings from far away. Doesn't bother us none. We can stay far away and we'll stay up here and we won't bother it none.
What kind of troubles do they speak of? And Damrod's kind of lowered his voice just a smidge.
He does that look around. He leans on the bar, leans in. Well, talk of a shadow. And
Um,
he just goes back and
I like.
Having heard the story from not that story, but having heard the story from what is happening right now?
What's that?
It's Maracar dropping sick beats.
Somebody dropped a
I'm not
coin
going
in
to
the
get copyrighted
jukebox.
for that, are we, Nath?
I don't even know what that was, so I don't know.
Uh, right,
But
yeah,
he'll
carry
look.
on.
Damrod will look towards Aurelion because having heard the story at the mention of Shadow, he'll kind of glance towards Aurelion.
Um, Aurelian has kind of like paled a little bit, and he just gives him a very nervous glance, and then he turns back to the innkeep. So you got a lot of regulars around here. The Breelanders keeping you busy.
Oh, yes. Very. We're always busy here at the pony. Been in my family for generations, it has. Well, it's the place to come and drink, it is. Best ale well, in Bree.
Well, I drink to that, but it looks like my glass is empty right now.
Is
Oh,
it
well.
the only ale in Bree?
Oh, no, there's more than one ale here in Bree. Combe and Hatchet, they have their own, but ours is the finest.
So, dealing with these regulars, would you know a man named Timaeus?
He stops and looks. Timaeus, you say? Timaeus?
Timaeus, that's it.
Yeah, I know old Timmy. He's one of the regulars. He was, and you can see like a bit of a somber look. Why? How can we help with? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you've come too late. I, I hear. You must be some of his old adventuring friends from way back when. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but we've already buried him.
Is that right?
Yes, two days back we did.
I kind of give Rook a look. See, he was an old friend of my father, and I was thinking, might be good to stop in Bree and see how he's doing. Could I ask what may have taken him? I'm
Oh
sure my mom
well,
would like to know.
he was getting on, you see. So, but seemed like he just his heart packed up and he died. But yes, I'm sorry to hear that you didn't make it in time. You didn't know then.
No, word tends to get to our little hobble a little too slow.
Oh well, I guess if you're not from Bree, word does spread slowly, if at all.
Don't, don't quite recall the names of his old adventuring party. Do any of them live here in Bree?
Oh no, strange folk they were. He
Hmm.
would go off on,
More
well,
strange folk.
actually, he would go off with his uncle, uh, who was a strange man of indeed as well. He went off on adventures and he got old Timmy involved when he was a young'un, and then his uncle didn't come back, and then Timmy gave up after that.
Don't suppose any know his old uncle's name, do you? Didn't quite catch that one. Being as bad at names as I am.
Nathaniel Hefferton.
Hmm. Did you at all happen to know a dwarf by the name of Gron?
Uh, he sort of hesitates a little bit. Gron. Wow. Hmm. Not that I know of, but there is a dwarf that stops in here. His name is Graw. Sounds like Gron.
No relation, I suppose.
Uh, who knows? Dwarves coming in and out here all the time, and well, they live a lot longer than we do. Not as long as those elves, if you believe that they're still around.
No, that's just ranger myths. Imagine to live as long as those dwarves, though.
He stop. You say that the ranger myths, and he stops and he sort of eyes Damrod. Is it now? Well,
That's what they'd like you to think.
uh, Nathan, have you got a nickname that Damrod would maybe go by? You know, like because Aragorn is known as Strider, not Aragorn, obviously. Um, just wondering if there's a moniker that these people might know him by. You might not have been here all that often, but
I hadn't thought
no.
of it. That's a good idea, though.
Mm. We'll leave it for now. Maybe if you have a think about it for next session. Um, and he'll look up and go, and he, are you are you four together? Are you?
We are.
I
I
kind of
guess you. I guess you're not close then. If you're saying that this one has myths about such things.
I'm not saying he's lying per se. Just beliefs different than you or I.
Oh, oh, of course. Excuse me. Anyway, come on in. Let you can sit in the main common room if you wish, or we have a parlour out the back. If you want a bit more quiet, do you have any horses?
We've got two. If you would have somewhere where we can get them fed and watered.
Nub, Nub, where are you, boy? Nub. and a young lad comes running into the room. What's up? Go and tell Bob that there's two horses that needs stabling, and take these four through into the parlor so they can sit down and have some meals. Seems like they came in just today. Oh, all right, all right. This way, this way. And he will lead you through into like a little smaller, quieter back room.
Oh, thank you, boy, and I will give him a silver piece for his work.
Are you sure?
We'll just keep that one a secret, so your employer might not take all of it, and he'll wink at him.
He'll sort of he'll go to put it in like a little pouch, and then he'll stop and he'll go to put it somewhere else, and then in the end he like puts it in his boot, in his shoe. Um, thank you. If you if you want anything, ring the bell, and I'll come and serve you straight away. You'll be first.
Well, thank you for your kindness,
Do,
and
do you want any drinks or food now?
I could probably do with maybe something a bit hearty to eat.
Right,
Friends, what are
right.
your thoughts?
And the rest of
Yeah,
you?
I can eat.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. We've got some lovely potato stew today. And he runs out the door.
I can supply the potatoes.
Potatoes.
You
As,
don't say.
as soon as he goes, Aurelian just like crumples, and he looks so annoyed. And he's like, "Well, back to square zero. It would have been easier if I had known all this before I left the comfort of my study nook."
And here we are knowing nothing.
Um,
I know nothing, but I feel great. You just got to look on the bright side, Aurelion.
I'm just gonna glare at you and take a long drag of my pipe.
Shake my head and don't mess with him. Don't mess with him.
Nob, the boy, comes running in with like 4 pints of this thick looking, bitter smelling ale. Um, and he plonks them down. I'll be right back with food. And he runs back out. You smell it, and you can smell the hops and the malt. You can sense almost the bitterness to it, but Maracar, I don't know if Maracar's an ale drinker, or I imagine he is.
Yeah, he really likes an apple cider. That's kind of his thing.
Okay. Um, well, you haven't
So
been
they don't
brought an
have it
apple cider,
elsewhere.
right? But you've been given this ale anyway.
Um, he'll drink it. Is it cider or is it like a normal beer like everyone else?
No, no, it's a beer. It's an ale. It's dark brown with a frothy head. Um, it's it, I imagine you've had ale, right? As in Maracar.
No, no. Maracar has not had ale. He's
Okay.
had like half a cup of apple cider that's just been like slightly fermented.
Yeah.
So not really. He's never really had a real drink.
Okay. Yeah.
Very
Um,
sheltered boy.
uh, Damrod, you've been to the Prancing Pony now a few times. Um, it is the best that you've ever drank. If Damrod is also if Damrod is an ale drinker.
I imagine so.
Yeah. Um, so I imagine Damrod probably took straight into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's rich, it's bitter, it's refreshing, but at the same time, it's thick enough to almost coat your mouth with it. Um, and but it goes down really smooth. And the first drink is always like a shock to the system, and it's almost too bitter. But then you put it down, you're like, oh, that's bitter, and then all of a sudden, like you find yourself picking it up and drinking more, and then the more you drink, the easier it all just goes down, and it's smooth as butter.
And
Um,
Damrod's just like thoroughly enjoying this after the battle and the trip on the road. And I imagine I mean he still has a point of exhaustion, so he's been playing it off as if he's not exhausted as best he can, but you're starting to see it as he's still aware of what's happening around him, but as he's relaxed a little bit more than what it was, out on the road.
does Aurelian and Rook try it?
Aurelian doesn't drink at all, so he like shoves it off towards Rook.
Absolutely.
Like knowing
Um,
how he drinks, he just like as soon as he downs it, he just shoves his over to him.
yeah. So, Rook, yeah, you've maybe tried then the beers and ales of Dale and Lake Town, uh, and usually the elves don't like they just don't have the taste for it. They like something that's a little bit more delicate. Um, whereas this is really hearty. Um, and again, this is the best you've ever drank anywhere.
I express as much to Ray. I'm like, I've got to try this.
Alcohol dulls the senses, and I need mine right now. Thank you, Rook.
I, I have my senses. They're still there. They're not dull by any means.
How intoxicated is he as he says that?
If he's had two, then I don't think he's too intoxicated. They have a very natural resistance, do the elves, to alcohol.
Well, I'd say we should ask Halbarod for assistance, but I believe he's joining Timaeus right now. Any
Hmm.
leads, Sir Ranger? Any ideas?
Do you look
Just trying to
sad at
find
all
him.
when you say this?
He looks more annoyed than anything.
Okay, well the secret still stands then.
I know where he went.
I don't suppose there's
uh,
any information brokers you know here in Bree?
Not me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
uh,
I was talking to him.
Oh.
Damrod, I think Damrod would know of a few, should we say, agents or sympathizers with the Rangers that they're they're accepted. Um, yeah, uh, they're they're accepted in, and they're not like kicked out or prevented from coming in, but they're looked at suspiciously. They're strange folk. They're weird folk. They go walking around the wilds all the time, doing who knows what. They're probably bandits um, and whatnot, really, and that they come back here to just rest before going back out and doing bandity stuff. Um, there's all sorts of wild rumors like that. Um, but there are some that understand the roles that the Rangers do. The Caravaneers will certainly look at people like Damrod and the Rangers a little bit more favourably because of the um, the job that they have done. Some have been saved in the past by the Rangers. So yeah, he probably might know a few people he can go and ask. There might even be in the Prancing Pony at some point tonight.
I'll look to Aurelion and say, "Give me a night. I'll see what I can find out." Is there anything specific that you would like to know?
Simply who hired Gon and where we might find them.
I'll see what I can find out.
Would I have been able to hear that conversation?
Oh, well, we're not really hiding it.
I think we're at the same table too.
Yeah.
Listening intently.
Yeah. And with that, we'll end it there, and we can pick up in 2 weeks' time as we begin to uncover what happened to Timaeus, and if we can find any information for Aurelia. I hope everyone has enjoyed the session this evening.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Tons of fun.
I felt quite a few laughs were had, which is always good. Again, lots of role play involved, and you all played your characters really well. So well done for that. You'll be happy to know, Charlie, no shadow rolls.
Yay!
Although-
That's always a plus.
Although Maracar was close.
Oh, was I?
Oh
You
yeah,
killed someone!
How could you not be?
What do you mean?
just
I didn't
attacking
kill
an
anyone.
innocent guy.
Yeah.
Oh, what? See, I just misunderstood the situation. I'm trying
Yeah.
not to be a nuisance. I promise.
No, that was fantastic, man.
Oh, I would
What's
have
with the
walloped him though.
potatoes? Why?
Look, mine aren't
Yeah.
potatoes. Mine are mini corn dogs. So let's be clear about that.
Why mini corn dog / potatoes? Why?
Because I thought Ray had mini corn dogs when she joined the chat before all you guys got in, and then she said they were potatoes.
Look,
But
there's
I
one mini,
swear they were mini corn dogs when I saw them. So
there's one mini corn dog in here, but I will never tell you which one.
all of them.
Oh,
So I just
awesome.
saw Ray adding them, so I added some to mine too, to make sure they were actually mini corn dogs.
Well, I was like, how many can I add before someone notices? And the answer is 2 because Kevin's watching like a hawk.
I noticed. I noticed as soon as you started moving one around. I was like, okay.
I was like, she's adding more.
I had no idea until like halfway through.
Mhm.
Build a wall.
Well, you guys got anything you want to promote or say or announce before we go?
Actually,
All right.
there
Well,
might
that
be-
being said, then no, I'm just kidding.
yeah, the reason I'm using my VTuber is to promote the fact that I'm going to be doing my debut stream by myself on Friday.
Hey!
6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be playing Hades, and you can find me at ricochet_ray at twitchtv.com, some such / one of those things. If you just type in ricochet_ray, you'll find it.
Or you can click the follow button right there in chat and follow instantly.
So you could do that.
Fingers crossed, Ray. Everything goes well.
I will not have this many potatoes. I think the number of potatoes will be closer to 0.
Closer to
0 still leaves a lot of opportunity for
Mhm.
potatoes.
I need to count and see how many I ended up with here. I think I've got
It's
like
over
11 stacks here.
9,000. Anybody else got anything they want to?
Yeah, I can talk about some stuff. Of course, I got the Viva La Vega podcast. We're gonna be getting back into that now that we're kind of in the new year and we're out of the holiday crazy season. So I'm gonna be recording some new podcast episodes, and we're going with a video podcast going forward. So not sure exactly how that's gonna work, but next time I'm home, we're gonna put some stuff together. And then Viva La Vega Gaming is kind of my next project. It is a gaming channel on YouTube. So if you type in Viva La Vega Gaming and kind of poke around there for a little bit, you should be able to find something. There's a Let's Play at the moment of High on Life. Mostly just a practice thing, but it's been fun. And then I don't have a date for my debut stream, unlike Ray that has her shit together. Um, but the next week that I'm home, which I don't know yet, um, maybe the week of the 30th. So 2 weeks from now, sometime that week, I'll do a test stream, try to figure some shit out that way. But yeah, that's all I got. Always, of course, I love the game as usual. So thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
My-
Yeah, well done, everyone. I had lots of fun watching you guys role play your characters. Really good.
Thank you for running it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Anything exciting coming from you, Kevin, or you, Charles?
I'll be pretty excited if I can get through Friday and Saturday without getting bit again. So
Can we give a shout out to Kevin to get it through the week?
I will. I'll throw him a message.
Shout out to Kevin for not turning into a walker anytime soon.
Yeah, please don't turn into a walker.
I've got.
He's gonna be immune when the zombie apocalypse finally comes around.
swear.
His skin's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be so tough he can't be
flop, man.
bit.
yeah,
He's just gonna be made of leather.
Ew.
like the Hobbit's feet.
What the hell's under your head, Ray?
Don't let Ray distract you, Charlie. What were you saying?
I don't know. I'm gonna looking to start streaming this year, maybe. I've got a one shot a couple people know about, and I'm gonna run it like 3 different times. I'm gonna try and make it better, and maybe the last one I'll stream. But I haven't really made a huge decision on that just yet, though.
Hell yeah!
I still
man.
got some things I need to figure out. And I'll get with Kevin and Nathan with those.
Kevin, you're going to be the only one who doesn't stream in our group.
Yeah.
Mine might be a one-time thing. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing it.
Hey,
It depends
man,
on how bad it sucks.
Once a streamer, always a streamer.
I believe in keeping saturation down. So
Ew.
Kevin knows if he started streaming, we'd lose every viewer we had because they'd all go watch
Oh,
every game
100%.
that Kevin ran.
Oh, I thought you were saying the opposite.
No, Kevin would just take over Twitch. The D&D sector of Twitch would be gone. Kevin would take over any role playing of Twitch.
I feel this praise is far too high.
Not high
Yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Well, like,
I say,
means
you
nothing
must
to
not
us.
praise me so much.
why so?
Unless you give me some tea, Governor.
It's so natural.
Well, I've got to go get over to Death of the Deities. I got about 3 minutes before we're supposed to start. So I will see you guys later. Probably Witcher on Friday, so be looking forward to that. I'm going to try to do some other work on the stream tomorrow. I don't know if I'll actually get around to doing a bonus stream tomorrow or not, but we'll at least have some Witcher on Friday, so be looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
That being said, I will see you all in another dimension.